Good morning and welcome to the write-up briefing of the Shimano Mountain Bike Grand Prix double header. Jolly Nose and Kempsey, Saturday and Sunday. First time we're doing this, we're super excited. The trails will be great. That's largely due to two amazing clubs. First one is the Hastings Valley Mountain Bike Riders. They are looking after the Jolly Nose trails, and we had a lot of fun here at the Fox Superflow last weekend. And that same fun will continue tomorrow. And then we're heading roughly about 40 minutes up north to the Kalateenee State Forest in Kempsey. And there the Macquarie Valley Mountain Bike Club has done an amazing job cleaning up the trails, getting everything ready for the first ever Grand Prix to be staged there. We've been there in years past with the Fox Superflow, but it's the first Grand Prix there, and I can almost guarantee you now that you will love the tracks. They won't be easy to ride because it's flat and it's deceiving. So no big climbs there, but it just means you need to be on the power, on the gas the entire time there. Let's start with the weather. We've been obviously looking at the forecast, different models, and it's looking better and better and better. At the moment, as you can see, bone dry. We didn't have any rain since Monday, I believe. And yeah, Jolly Nose is a little bit more in the forest, so it doesn't dry out as quickly. So that while we don't expect any rain on Saturday now, there's still some expected tonight. So the trails there will be damp, especially the first few laps. Some corners will be absolutely amazing. Other corners will be very slippery and will be very greasy. So when you start the first laps, just watch out for them. There's nothing crazy technical out there, but when we rode them to test out the trails and mark the trails, we found that some corners actually they can be a bit deceiving. So if you come in too hot, you start sliding again. And as the day progresses, as the sun comes out, and as we get a lot of wheels on those trails, we do expect the track to get very, very fast and interesting throughout the day. So a bit of changing conditions there. For Sunday, we rode the trails yesterday. There was not a single puddle on there. And because the trails are very, very dry now and there's not a whole lot of rain forecast tonight, and we have all Saturday to dry out, we believe that Sunday will be bone dry up at Kempsey. So two trails, different for I think the majority of people who come up will do the double header. And yeah, very interesting, different condition, changing conditions on Saturday. Make sure you do not go easy on the bike, go easy on the legs, so you still have a lot of gas left for the Sunday. All right, let's start with the start of the race. On both days, we have decided to do our usual mass start. So we're not going to have the split start anymore. It is a mass start for the entire field at 9 o'clock. This can be done in a COVID-safe way. The numbers are a little bit less than a wobber, so we decided to do it that way, to have all of you together. I will again lead you out, and then we'll have a nice long strung out start where we then lead you into the single trails of both days. So both days, 9 o'clock start. Please, registration is from 7:30, so come out early and get your number plates, get ready. If you do the double header, we'll give you both number plates on the Saturday, but you will race with different number plates. This is very important, so otherwise we do not know who you are. So Saturday and Sunday is a different number plate, unless of course you race with your series plate, which you can use for both days. Start of the race, Jolly Nose. Okay, so if you have never been there, we're gonna have the event center. It's on the left hand side, and then there's a fire road, and the racetrack is actually on the other side. And this is where I need a little bit your help. As always, we are in a state forest. Those roads are not heavily used, but we do get the odd moto and we do get the odd four-wheel drive up on those roads. Once again, the majority of those guys are really, really good. They see riders and slow down, and then you have the 1% who left their brain somewhere else, and they're the ones we need to watch out for. So if you hear motos, four-wheel drives, watch out for them. And that goes across both tracks. We are sometimes crossing roads, we're sometimes a little bit on fire roads. None of those fire roads are closed. All of them are open. They're not big roads, as I said, but you could encounter a moto or a four-wheel drive. Good news is you hear them from a mile away. So if you hear them, watch out for it when you're crossing those roads or when you are on those road tracks. In Jolly Nose, that road that I just talked to that's next to the event center, you're actually not racing across it, but when you transition, you need to cross that road quite a bit. The track, both track lengths are around about 10 kilometers, and yeah, not as fast as or as quick as our. But I don't think we're gonna see times that are sub 30. But let's wait and see. And
talk a bit about the race format. So we have 4 and 7 hours.
4 and 7
solo
hours.
and teams. How does it work in terms of relay and transitioning?
Okay, so all the solo riders, you ride your time. The team riders, only one of you is out there at any one time, and then you come back, you transition, and the COVID safe transition means no physical contact, and but you ride next to each other, and then the next rider, as soon as you're within one bike length of your teammate, the next rider can start.
So for results, who won? How do you
Results,
win?
the fastest rider with the most amount of laps and the shortest time thereafter wins. So after 4 hours or 7 hours, we close the racetrack. You finish the lap that you're on, but you're not allowed to start a fresh lap.
And that lap still counts.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the COVID stuff a little bit. It's we've now doing this for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and we found out the little details that make a big difference. And this is the one where you can come in. The biggest thing that we saw now is where you really need to help us to be able to keep running these events until this whole situation is over, is by keeping your distance. Just keep a little bit of physical distance between everybody. We are in a forest, we have tons of space, and that just means if you come and see us, talk to us, not a problem. Just stay 1.5 meters, 2 meters away from us. No handshakes, no high fives. But just keep your distance. If you want to look at something if you come to us at the radio, you look at the computer screen. Don't lean over our shoulders and look at our screen. Stay away. We'll give you all the information that you need. Same thing goes for results. Jolly knows, unfortunately, the phone reception is really bad. So we'll probably won't be able to upload results throughout the day. We're not sure yet if it's gonna work, but it might be the case that we only have results at the end of the day on the internet. But of course, we will have then results displayed, relayed through our MC on the day there to make sure everything is working well. If that is the case, when you go there, please keep a distance to everybody. We'll have a big screen where you can go get your information, but don't huddle up in front of it. If that happens, we need to turn that screen off again, and then you have to believe us who won at the end of the day. That is number one. So please help us with that. We're in a forest again. Masks are not mandatory. You can wear them, of course, at retro if you choose to. But please, if we all keep our distance, it's very easily done. That is the number one message for this weekend. Please help us. Thank you very much. Okay. Passing out on track, very important. If you're new to this, you've never done this before, we're a very friendly bunch out there. Let each other know where you are, where you want to pass. If you're about to be passed, make as much room as you can, as quickly as you can, to let the other rider pass. And same thing goes, if you are coming up to somebody, be a little bit patient and make sure that you give them a little bit of time till they can move over somewhere where it's safe. And again, with the social distancing, make it as wide as possible so that there's as little contact as absolutely necessary. Welcome the very morning rubbish disposal here in Bonny Hills. We had an absolute wonderful week here, just south of Port Macquarie. And at this point, I want to say a huge thank you to the Port Macquarie Hastings Valley Council as well as Kempsey councils. They're both supporters of the events that we're running up here. And it's a great pleasure to bring these events to the region to in really hard times for the tourism sector, bring you guys and a lot of money that way into a region, and that is fantastic, and that will keep all this going. Juliana, what did I forget at this point? Line.
What if happens something out on track? What if there are any incidences, accidents?
Yeah, as always, we got first aid up on site. If there's any accidents out on track, let the next marshal let you see know, or come back and see us, and we'll take care of it. The system works really well. It's a relatively short lap, so we know pretty quickly what's going on, and then we'll take care of that.
If someone loses some time because of helping another rider?
Exactly. If you stop and help an injured rider, and if it makes a difference in the results, come talk to us. We'll give you that time back at the end of the day. If you help somebody else because of a mechanical, anything like that, then that's nice of you, but you will not get that time back. Same with your timing chips. just if we have the results up wherever they are, make sure that you see yourself and your team. If there's any dramas, let us know. Usually those things are pretty bulletproof, but of course they're computers, and sometimes it doesn't work as much as well as we want them to.
What do people need to bring in terms of food and drinks and things like that? What's set up in the event center?
So yeah, both events will have a barbecue. We'll have, the club is gonna put something on. In Jolly Nose, please bring cash, because again, the phone reception is so bad that the payment terminals don't work there. So please bring cash to Jolly Nose. The club will put up a barbecue. We have a coffee event at both locations, of course. But please bring your own drinking water. So we can't have those shared big water stations. For obvious reasons, we can't have those touch points anymore. So please bring your own drinking water for the day. It's not gonna be that hot, so you're not gonna need that much, but please bring it.
I've had a few inquiries online regarding camping. How does that work in both locations?
At Jolly Nose, not a problem. It's a state forest, so you can set up early, set up today, set up Friday, and camp there tonight. At Kempsey, we're actually at the golf course, so there is no camping directly at the event center, but there's a lot of campgrounds there, a lot of motels, so the accommodation is not going to be a problem there. I think that's pretty much covers it. As always, stay on the racetracks. Something's come up recently, a discussion now that we get more and more e-bikes, probably not so much in the GPs, but more so for the Fox Superflows. E-bikes, they need to be an Australian standard e-bike. They need to be legal here. If they're chipped, modified, if they're doing 60 k's an hour, if they have a throttle, they're not allowed to race here. Like, no insurance, not ours, not yours, will cover anything that happens to you, anybody else that you might ride into. So yeah, e-bikes need to be 100% legal to be allowed to race with us. And unfortunately now we will need to start to look at those, because we've seen sometimes in the results where it's very, very obvious that those bikes are not to spec standards. So we'll keep an eye at those, and yeah, once we do have, we will need to start testing those and make sure that they are within the legal limits. I think that pretty much covers it. Again, I look really forward to hear from you what you think of the double header. Again, it's gonna be a really tactical game that needs to be played. To do this back to back, potentially, if you're doing 7 hours solo, it's gonna be 14 hours of racing for in a time when nobody has a lot of race case in their legs. So it's going to be good to see. Look forward to hearing from your feedback. Again, start slow. It's going to be a long 2 days for everybody who does the double header. And yeah, both trails are not easy race trails just because they are so fast, flowy, fun, but there is not a lot of place to relax and rest. It is on the entire racetrack. With that, I'll look forward to seeing you either today or tomorrow or on Sunday. Whoop whoop!
See if we can spot some whales.